Who's our first keynote speaker, our interim Vice President for Business Development, Craig Nordstrom.
I'm honored to introduce our speaker today. Our keynote speaker is one of the Philippines' most celebrated motivational speakers, renowned for his unique learn-joyment approach that seamlessly blends learning with enjoyment. He's a multi-awarded entrepreneur, best-selling author, corporate trainer, with a wealth of experience in both corporate and business sectors. That's what we're here for, right? His best-selling Strategies of a Champion Entrepreneur offers invaluable insights into successful entrepreneurship, while his recent work, Stand Out: How to Lead Without Losing Your Values, emphasizes the importance of ethical leadership. Beyond authorship, Paulo is a regular resource person on national television and radio, sharing real-life strategies and principles that have transformed countless professionals and organizations. His engaging and experiential talks have inspired many to reach their full potential. To know more about our keynote speaker, let's watch this video.
One of the most celebrated motivational speakers today, Paulo Tibig earned the moniker Entry Champ in the business community because of his business savvy and wisdom. However, this coveted title did not come easily. Paulo and his siblings were exposed to entrepreneurship early, manning their small engine oil store owned by their father, an OFW who believed that it's better to see his children raised with good values in lieu of earnings abroad. After finishing high school, he started working while in college as a stay-in messenger and as a utility man in a brokerage firm to help him pay for his education. That hard-earned college degree landed him various corporate jobs: a medical representative, a marketing assistant, and a marketing development assistant. His business DNA proved to be very strong, leading him to venture into different businesses, from a laundry business to handmade paper production, t-shirt printing, nata de coco production, a pizza cart, and a restaurant business, all of which eventually failed. With all his lessons in mind, he carried on and finally struck his pot of gold, a venture that literally made him the captain of his own ship, with the help of his wife, Abby, and a 100,000 peso capital. Vinta Logistics was established in 1999. It was this venture that finally got his feet firmly planted in the Philippine entrepreneurial ground. 10 years later, Vinta Logistics was rebranded to V Cargo Worldwide and went on to grow into one of the largest logistics companies catering to both local and multinational firms. An award-winning entrepreneur, a validation of his exemplary leadership and business acumen. Armed with vast and stellar business and corporate experience, Paulo Tibig has become one of the most sought-after motivational speakers and corporate trainers today. He is renowned for his engaging, educational, and experiential brand of keynotes, reaching thousands of motivated attendees here and abroad through various corporate and business plenaries, summits, conferences, kickoffs, and team buildings, realizing the evolving needs of companies and businesses. And as an experienced practitioner, he has developed signature programs in culture building, standout leadership, frontline management, simplified strategic planning, and NLP-based team building. He reaches and relates to different types of audience profiles: students, employees, corporate executives, businessmen, and anybody who wants to learn through his easy-to-relate with curricula and concrete actionable steps through his learn-joyment brand of programming. A best-selling author of Strategies of a Champion Entrepreneur, a book that has reached out and helped thousands of entrepreneurs, as well as the newly launched Stand Out, How to Lead Without Losing Your Values, an ethical leadership book which aims to guide fledgling and seasoned leaders become successful while anchored on true leadership cornerstones, ethics and excellence. With his trademark principle, be the orange among the apples, Paulo Tibig continues to impact many. A man who walks the talk, a man who has helped various people reach their full potential and become champions in their personal and professional career. Now, it's time to awaken your champion within. Ladies and gentlemen, the entrant, Mr. Paulo Tibig.
Magandang umaga sa ating lahat, everyone. Good morning, everyone! You know, this is something that so special to all of us Filipinos. Welcome and mabuhay to Manila, to Philippines. It's summertime, fiesta time, right now here in the country, and I personally encourage you after this conference to go around the country, everyone. I just came from Siargao and I did some surfing there, so you have to experience and the brand of recognized, highly recognized Filipino hospitality. Are you in for that, everyone? Are you in for that? Are you ready for a 3-hour keynote talk? You know, it's seldom that you see, very rare that you see so many passionate people around here, all over the world who converge. This convergence is something that will help you, get you inspired, get you motivated, learn a lot of insight, and things that will help further your business or image consulting. And look at my OOTD for today. You know OOTD, everyone? What's OOTD? Thank you. Take a look at my back. It's fiesta time in the country. Everyone, I've been here early this morning and I've seen some of you who's really off from, you know, probably jet lag. And probably some of you have not taken their breakfast altogether. To build the energy going for this session, everyone, can we all stand up and take this relevance with you? Who amongst you right now are into TikTok? Oh, just a few are into TikTok. IG. Alright. FB. LinkedIn. What do you Friendster. Alright, so what shall we do? To build the energy going for you, everyone. What's on the screen? Let's follow and make it more relevant. Bring the energy going on for this and to the next days to come. Alright, let's do it, everyone. Let's do it. Let's do it. Come on. Woo! Let's do it, everyone. Get it on. Bring the energy going for you. Can you see those about to get into the groove? Everyone, let's do it. Let's do it. Woo! No problem if it's good or bad. Go! Go, everyone! Go! 3, 2, 1, go! We may have through. Or everything we want to see that energy going for you. Roll! Roll! Hurry! Roll! 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 Let's move in. Halfway through. Di ba, bibili ng kahit kaliwa kaya okay lang eh. Let's do it, everyone. Let's do it. Show your stuff. Bring up energy. Woo! Bring it up. Go. Can you tell me everyone? Okay, are we good? Can you remain standing right now? Don't worry, this is the first telephone concert for the day. And we all stand up. No, it's okay, no problem. No problem. You just stay, Woo! Can we all stand up? I'll ask. I'll ask just a few questions. And based on this question, you will be responding standing. If it's yes and no, you can take your seat. Are we good with that, everyone? All right, can we all stand up? Those who are seated? Anyone who's still seated? Don't worry. Well, me too, I'm tired of it. Okay, let's move on with this question. First question, everyone. Do you believe that business building initiatives are pivotal in a successful image consulting business? The answer would be, if it's yes, remain standing. If it's no, take your seat. All of us are standing. All right. Moving on with the next question, everyone. Do you have that strategic business building activities in motion? If you say yes, remain standing. No, take your seat. No one is sitting again, except for those who are taking that photos and videos. All right, last question. Is your business building initiatives enough? Yes, remain standing. No, take your seat. There you go. Highly expected. It's not because you wanted to sit already, probably. Oh, there are a few who's really standing. All right. Good for you. Can we clap our hands for these guys, everyone? Thank you so much. So this is something that, for most of the businesses, I'm into business for more than 2 decades already, and have started as early as 24, 25 years old. Have so many businesses along the way, and was proven to be in one major business that is already future-proof in logistics, that we're into where we were able to really hit what we call as golden egg. Now with this, everyone, we know that there's a lot of challenge along the way. In fact, I'm part of the advocacy here in the country. One of the pioneer advocates of Go-Negosyo. It's an entrepreneurial advocacy here in the country that brings in the beauty of entrepreneurship all over the Philippines. And it's really hard. When we were starting 18, 19 years ago, we were just few who have joined us with the bandwagon to help Filipinos to be in business. And now we have reached, in fact, one of our good friends here, Delby, have joined us recently, past few years, to help us get through mentorship and coaching to those who are into business. But mind you, there's really a lot of challenge in getting in different businesses. You, in your image consulting, you are also in business. Take a look at these challenges, everyone. In order for you to be on spotlight, you have to traverse these key, major, and vital, critical questions that we need to work on. First on the list, market education. There's that really need for us, for you guys, to really penetrate and help people know exactly what image consulting is all about. Credibility. You know, all over the world, there's a lot of unethical issues, unethical ways of doing business, but we don't want that. Especially so, you are helping shape individuals. Right? Right, everyone? We may have come from different countries. We may have different cultures, orientation. We may have different ways to speak our languages. But there's one common that we can do. What's that, everyone? To bring the best out of people. And you are there at the center, at the front, at the side, and the back of it. So how will you do things if it's not on ethical means and ways? Third on the list, the rise of influencers. And earlier, what we did, TikTok Zumba Live thing. It's about relevance, everyone. The influencers are getting into it. The question will be, will you counter that? Will you complement that? Or combat that? And I've seen some of you here are also influencers, right? In our own rights. Right? Right. Next on the list, barriers to corporate circles. You know, there's really difficulty getting into the corporate. Why? You know, for some organization, they don't see image consulting as a way to help their teams, their organization. How do you get that barrier? And last on the list, everyone, how do you build your virtual footprint? The space has now it's totally different at this point. Wherein, how do you get your footprint on it virtually? Okay, so these are the challenging paths to get into your ways to build further your business. It's reason enough that our initiatives may be traditional, may be classic, may be working at this point, but there are so many ways to get into your market at this point. Now, look at this, everyone. Normally, first quarter of the year in the country, here in the Philippines, people wanted to, organizations really wanted to do a lot of rara to their team. Sales, leadership, been invited to a lot of engagement to speak about on sales leadership, doing a lot of keynote, to really drive and push people to be at their best, to be at their peak, to achieve things. And there's one CEO who have called me, asked for a meeting, and we've discussed about the last 3 years wherein his sales team, national scale, all over the Philippines, was really down in terms of sales. And he was telling me about everything Paulo had been provided, all resources, all trainings, all fundings, all cutting, all the things that these people need on the ground, on the field. We have provided, but what's happening? Based on that discussion, we were able to pinpoint one, the need to refrain people to be what? Rewire their minds. Another engagement, just recently. Big multinational insurance company. We have so many agencies and brokers in their fold. And these are all achievers. In fact, their businesses are really, really big already. But the problem over the years is that the winning ways are not there anymore. So what's the problem? Complacency. It kills complacency, kills everyone. And bring forth the organizing tells about what we can do again with these sales achievers and leaders. Going back, again, it's about turning that over, turn around the minds again. Why it's so important? You know why? Our mind is very complex. Do you agree with that? You know that there's thousands of thoughts all over our mind every day. That's why people are what? We tell people, it's like, in Filipino, ang gulo ng isip mo. Can you help me explain that to your co-tables? Ang gulo ng isip mo in Filipino. Help me. Your mind is what? Complicated? Or the relationship is complicated? So the thought is all about what? The thought is all about how do we get that mind going? You know, if there's one deliberate way to do it, when you process things, thought should be deliberate to eradicate, to discern, to decipher all other thoughts. Why? Thoughts generates emotions. Emotion can be good, emotion can be bad. Emotion can be positive, emotion can be negative. And that generated emotion now reflected in our behavior. Reflected in our behavior. So, given with this, everything starts, everyone, in our mind. If you wanted to build successful business in your image consulting business, everything starts in our mind. But first, mindset is just the beginning. The end goal here is to create and develop that behavior. Now, looking at with this illustration, everyone, there's gap at the center. What's that gap? What do you think would be that gap? Any idea? Any idea? What's the gap? The gap is the action to make it happen. And the gap in itself would be the discipline to make it happen. This completes now the scenario. This will help us guide. This could be a very good framework to help us get through. Mindset would just be the beginning. The end goal would just be the behavior. But what would be the most important thing and critical factor would be about what? The discipline, the action, the ways to make it happen. Now, the question will always be, is it enough to say people that, go, be positive, be positive. Every Monday, we get to see Monday motivation. If you're not self-motivated, then anyone, for that matter, will not really push you to get into be motivated at all times. And how do we do that? There's a way to structure actionable ways to help you get through with this. The pathways to behavioral success is this one. You know, I've been doing a lot of research all over in the public speaking for more than 15 years already. And why many organizations would always want to have that cognitive shift amongst their team, with the professionals, what have you. It's always about that mind. Now, given with this, I have developed a proprietary way of making sure that we can get that shift going on with each and every one. Look, the first thing that we need to do is to get that foundation. The foundation is about self-awareness. The foundation of cognitive shift lies solely on being aware, on knowing exactly, introspection, deliberately, what's in your thoughts, what's your behavior. You have to be self-aware. Next on the list, identifying your limiting beliefs. Question will always be, what's holding us? There's such thing as imposter syndrome, self-doubt, 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 and self-doubt. Experiences, situation, people, this forms the pattern to a misbehavior. especially people. When you are in the midst of people who thinks negatively, away from them. Veer away from them. If they have that devil's horns, away from them. Take a look at your seatmate. If they have halo, be with them. Or you're not taking a look at your companions within your table. What does it mean, everyone? It's like a black bag. Black bags are those pests that can really destroy crops in just one spread. And people tend to be like that. In the Philippines, there's what we call a scrub mentality. Scrub mentality is somewhat, it's a not ideal trait wherein people tend to, pull down the person who's getting successful, who's getting possibilities, who's getting opportunities. What about if it's a Norwegian crab mentality? The more that is big, the more that it can be pulled down. Rather than push them up, they pull them down. So that's where, again, that limiting ways is formed. So be the one to know exactly what's holding you to get into the frame. Third on the list, change the narrative, everyone. Reframe perspective. It's the new narrative that you can work on. Always see what could be best for you, for your business, for your personal life, for your professional life. Get into it. Reframing the perspective. Change the narratives. Why? Remember, always, every new year, we have our New Year's resolution, right? You have your New Year's resolution? Do you have your New Year's resolution? Yes? Still on until now? I'm sure no. You know why? There's a common mistake in New Year's resolution. In 2 weeks' time, based on study, it's gone already. So how do you sustain that? And reframing perspective, changing the narrative from day one till the rest of your professional and personal lives. Okay. On the fourth list, everyone, adoption of new habits. What does it mean? Have you heard about 22 by 22 by 22 principle? Okay. Before it's 21. Now they have adjusted it to 22. How does it work? The first 22 days, you discard your, other ways that you wanted to discard. The next 22 days, you integrate your new habit. And the next 22 days is the integration and maintenance of that new habit. Now the question will be, 22 by 22 by 22. What if I miss one day out of that 66 days? What do? You now start back again in the beginning to start discarding that habit formed already. So it's a principle that can work with you. And last on the list, everyone, validate, self-check. Am I holding into it? Am I sustaining the gains that I have? So these are ways, it's a pathway. Really, there's a lot of people having difficulty with this because they don't know exactly how to do it. Nothing wrong with too much rah-rah thing. Go, go, go. You can do it. Go, you can do it. Nothing wrong with that. But it has to be structured. That's where the discipline, the action takes place. If you really wanted to get that cognitive shift going on for you, then the framework this time can be the one to help you get through with this. Am I making sense with this? Will it be helpful to you? Everyone? There's a lot of businesses who have really failed. Because of what? The cognitive shift is not with them. The framework, you might see may be easy, but then again, the framework can really work for you. It has worked for me over time. I have seen this with my team. I have seen this with some organization that I have helped. I have shared with this particular framework. It is something that is doable, actionable in a way, if only we will get and they'll be serious doing it. And I hope you too can be of help with this. Okay. Now looking at everyone, can you read with me as image consultant? 3, 2, 1, go.
It's visibility over vanity.
Alright. Can we start all over again?
Nakaharang ka kasi.
Can we start all over again?
Bukas.
Alright, everyone. 3, 2, 1, go. You're behind the success. Agree? Do you agree with that? We earlier said that you're part of the development, bringing out the best amongst people, and you are all behind those successes. I'm sure there's a lot of testimonies that you can provide. I'm sure there's a lot of things that you can do. But please remember, everyone, more than vanity, it's about you being visible. More than the impression that you will create, it's about that impact. And more than anything else, not you are behind the scene. Be proud and loud, everyone, that you are part of the success of an individual. That alone is something that you can work on, that will remind you that to get that natural high going on for you, that you are part of the success of an individual. Let me guide you with this, okay? I'm moving downstairs. Who wants some orange and apples? Everyone? Anyone would like to have some orange and apples? Let's move in here. No, you have to answer first. Can you stand up, beautiful girl? Your name, please.
Christina.
Christina. All right, Christina. So you want an orange?
Oh, it's a hard question now.
All right, the question would be, if you see this one, what do you remember and what it represents with you?
If I see this whole thing,
Yes.
I would say be brave to be the orange among the apples.
Why brave? Why
Because it takes courage for success, and it takes courage to be different, stick up to your values, be ethical. Everything is in the orange. You can answer it.
Do you think that's enough?
Yes.
Mm.
Do you think that's what?
Let's see. All right. Thank you for that. Let's give a round of applause. Later, I'll give you that. Another. Let me ask somebody here on my left. On my left. On my left. Who would like to volunteer? Who would like to have some orange? I like the lady in pink. Can you stand up? Your name, please?
Lynn,
Lynn. Lynn. For you, what's the representation is all about?
I see the 4 apples supporting the orange,
And then?
and the orange on top, and just glowing.
So the apples represent as a support the orange. That's right.
That's right.
Thank you, Lynn. Let's give a round of applause for Lynn. Can we go on further? Who would like to volunteer? This is true orange and apples, by the way. Can we have someone here? I like the baby powder shirt. Can you stand up? Ready, please?
My name is Sue.
All right. So for you, representation of this business.
I think you have to be the orange with the apples to stand out.
So do you think that the orange will stand out amongst this?
Absolutely.
And can you cite an example how it will be? If, for example, if it's going to be you.
Well, it's visible. It's standing out from the others by being a different colour. It's bigger, but maybe bigger is just a representation of its, not necessarily its size, but its impact.
Thank you for that also. Okay, let's give a round of applause for the 3. Now, take a look at this, everyone. This is something that will help us further. This will, When we were starting out our business many years ago, we were getting into an industry that is really quite saturated here in the country. And we took a lot of time, me and my wife back then, was really getting into a lot of brainstorming. How do we get our services and solutions to be in the midst of most of the multinationals here in the country, particularly in brand management. And there are so many problems. In fact, during the course of a lot of brainstorming, a lot of pain points have surfaced. And looking at it, we have seen that we can be an orange. How? Given with this scenario, everyone, you take a look at the apples as your competition. It's just the same. If, for example, a client or customers will hire you, how will they continue to patronize, get your services? Long-term, probably, sustainable way of partnership. But you just have the same and the same and the same offer. So how will you stand out? It may be simple, everyone. Another way to do this. When you're on the beach and moving farther away from the shore, what happens? The seas get, deep, right? And probably, figuratively, everyone, once it's so deep, probably there are sharks. And when there are sharks, they look for prey. Imagine that these apples also are sharks. And they're looking for a prey, which you, ourselves, as competitors, are also looking at that prey. Imagine also that this orange is one client, one company. So what will you do? Those sharks can really invest and can really get your clients or that prey. What do? You need to move out of that red ocean and get into something that you need to create your own market space to really come up with a new ways of what? Client base. So the problem will always be if you're just offering the same, similar with these apples, everyone, you cannot stand out. You cannot be different. You have to be the orange among apples. You need to dare and be different. Without doing so, you will just be one of those, similar with sharks, similar with apples. The question will always be, how will you get those clients with you? Without standing out, everyone, without being the orange among apples, you will have difficulty sustaining your image consulting business. 20 years down the road, more than 20 years already, I have written this in my best-selling book. It worked for us many years ago, and until now, it's been working. It's been working. That's where we have to be in sync. That's where relevance comes in. That's where innovation comes in. That's where you need to really focus on the new generation ways of doing things with your image consulting business. Everyone, be the orange amongst the apples. All right? We're good with that? All right, moving on. You can take it already if you want, but that's reserved for the 3 girls. It's okay. All right, moving on with this, everyone. Are you still good? Still good? Do I have enough time for this? All right, moving on. I'll provide you a very good playbook to really stand out, to be the orange amongst apples. First on the list, you have to build community. Next on the list, elevate, educate. Third on the list, the ultimate brand ambassador, network, omni-channel, and relationship. We'll get through with that, each and every one of those playbook. Okay, first on the list, everyone. You know, this is now the thing that is happening all over. If you're not into it at this point, you have to consider building your community already. Why? More than selling, it's about creating a movement for your business and fostering the values and purpose of your community. An example, what community that you can do? Probably the simpler one would be about what? Facebook page, LinkedIn community, or probably you get into a quarterly, monthly meetups. For some, it's eyeballs. Or, you know, this kind of event that will create further business for you. So, building community is more than selling. This is now the game changer, everyone. Why? There's a lot of benefit in building communities. Look at this. First, when you engage people, when you engage your community, you form and develop loyalty. So people wanted to be connected. There's affinity between you and your client and your prospect because of that community. It's easy for you to get through with them because you're part of the community. So there's that need to have that brand loyalty going on. Visibility, it amplifies your brand. It amplifies your brand. You know, brand building is so difficult. You can be branded as an ethical image consultant. You can be branded as an ethical image consultant. You can be branded with so many brands. But then again, how do you get into it? But once you are into community, it's really more easy to penetrate because you're visible already with those prospects, with those customers. Retention. Retention provides further business. If you do good, they will refer you. You know, there's such thing as, for most of us know exactly word of mouth, right? From one to one to one to one to one. Lately, past few years, it's more of evangelism marketing. It's like me saying here right now, we are close to 300 or more than 300 here, and then I'll just tell you something, and then you will be listening to me, and you will be accepting what I've been telling you. That's about retention. That's about things that will help you repeat the business all over. More than word of mouth. Keep them engaged. How do you keep them engaged? To keep them engaged by way of providing a lot, by way of providing value, by way of engaging them. You need to engage on a daily basis, on a regular basis. You have to be there. You have to be the top of mind. You have to be the orange among apples. If some of you is doing this the typical traditional way, nothing wrong with that. But what's the innovation that you can do to help you further build your business? And last on the list, everyone, you also help them with the reverse opportunities. Meaning to say, it's not one-sided. It's not just you who's getting the business from them. It's also getting the business from amongst the community. I started this type of community during the pandemic. And believe me, it's not working for my business who's into logistics because I'm not, it's long-standing, working on altogether for the past 25 years. But you know, in public speaking, you have to be there as always. So that community alone helps me build further. More than credibility, it's building the business altogether. Because of what? The community. There's a lot of sacrifices. There's a lot of things that you need to do to further build that community. Next on the list. We earlier said about market education, and this is the way to do it. You need to elevate education for engagement. You need to ramp up awareness. You know, for most people, they don't know exactly what image consulting business is. Right? Are you having difficulty telling people that I'm an image consultant? Probably for some C-suite, they know exactly what do we do. But for those new markets, do they know exactly what you do? They don't know it. And most people know exactly only about what? Styling. What's my style? What's my outfit? Fit check. OOTD. That's not the thing anymore. The thing is about, you know exactly, and you can help people in terms of personal branding. You can help them with the executive presence and many more. How do you elevate that engagement? How do you elevate the education? You are in the right position, everyone. You are in this organization to be the front runner, to be the premier organization to help people be aware of what you do. Why? Reciprocal. After which, you let people know about it, business will flow in its spring. Rightfully said, everyone, we have need, outsider of your industry, you need to really further educate us on what really image consulting. Ramp up your awareness objectives, everyone. More than the business. Why? Business will flow once you ramp up the business in itself. Be the ultimate ambassador. Usual, I always tell people, founders are the most or the real ambassador of their brands. Now, the question will always be, you need to really know exactly what's your niche. Probably many years ago until now, we always take a look at the higher tier C-suite's executive thing. But you know what? The new generation, and based on study, everyone, by 2030, today is 2025, right? 5 years from now, the millennials will be lording over the workplaces. So right now, at this point, everyone, why not take your eye on the millennials? Why not get them into the group of image consulting, something that will help them further elevate their works, their career, their professionalism. So you need, as mentioned earlier, you have to be the orange. You need to create new market space. Without creating market space, you're just getting the prey. All of us are getting into it, competing against one of those prey. How will you stand out? How will you stand out? You will just remain to be the apples and not the orange. Know your niche. Know your niche. If, for example, men like me, probably someone, you can take a look, the millennials right now, the moving in the next 5 years, they will lord it over as early as now. You have to prepare for them. What's going to be for them, for your image consulting approaches? And also, as an ultimate ambassador, you have to be authentic. You know, in LinkedIn, stories are well accepted in LinkedIn. Just an example, here, this particular event, you make a lot of stories out of this event. People will appreciate that. More than our photos, more than our videos, the story behind, the story about, the story what is here in this event. That creates and amplifies and resonates what? Interest. So how can you be that authentic storyteller? It's a challenge, everyone. It's a challenge. Network and make it work. I firmly believe that you need to create market spaces always. And one of which is to get into an organization wherein you can pitch and you can position, remember the branding in a way, you brand yourself as a partner in leadership development. Why? Mostly in the organization, in the corporate jungle, we always see people who's being trained to be the next leader, to be good leader, to be, achievers. But, image, professionalism are somehow at the back seat. How can you take them into the front seat? How do you get them into thinking that you as company, you have to pour in budget only for this, to get that holistic approach to your leaders? There are many leaders, there are many being grouped to be the next leaders. You have to be with them. You have to journey at this point with them. What about? It's making your pitch, new pitches, to work for you and to benefit them. Collab and co-op. With similar individuals, professionals, we have the same, things that you can do in common. For example, you can be with even HR practitioners, you can be with executives, you can join a lot of organizations, identified organizations to begin with, and not everyone. And then you can create new collaboration. Just an example, me personally, and you can collaborate. Why? I normally talk to CEO, GMs, presidents of organizations, of companies. So the way to do it, it's like a parachute approach. We're in, not with the gatekeepers, you have difficulty getting into the higher ups, but getting to the parachute, we're in from top to bottom. We're right there directly. So how does it work? It brings forth that me, for example, as a public speaker, as a motivational speaker, to be with you also, combining our strength, tapping the different audiences, will make new collaboration and will open up opportunities for each and every one of us. So be in that lookout. You have to be with them. You have to be those like-minded professionals that can create synergy amongst you. Reason enough, everyone, that you have to network and make it work. Why? There are people who just do networking. A lot of networking. Kaya mo yan, power. Oh, sorry, di ba? Oh, that's in the Filipino term, everyone, by the way. But what's the real sense of networking? Is to make it work. And these are actionable way to help you. You know, I'm taking the hat of a CEO at this point, especially on this end. How can you penetrate similar CEOs, top executives, C-suites on that end? Parachute approach. All right, moving on. Omnichannel presence. Reason enough earlier, we have a quick, relevant way of, TikTok Zumba Live. Why? You have to choose what works for you, what's best for you. You have to be present in your identified digital space or platforms. But, this is the key, you make content that converts. Especially so if you're focused on what you do. Especially so if you think that this will help your community, if you think that will help, that content will help your potential clients and customers, then by all means, do it. But again, you have to be picky, choosy on what platform you need to work on. The content in itself provides a very good story, believe me. Okay. Do you know Bon Jovi? Yes? And you know this song? Alright. This song. Do you know the song? It's a millennial song, everyone. It's a 90s song, everyone, right? Can you make it louder, DJ? Alright. That's a chorus. Can we sing with this, everyone? Let's sing. Alright, one more. If you know the song, join me in singing the song. Let's sing it, everyone. This sweat. I wanna. Seems that some of you doesn't know exactly the song. But you know, there's a real sense of meaning with this song. Why? Image consulting business is building relationships. And you, as a person who will journey with your clients, you have to be there and really be felt by your customers. I'll be there for you. These 5 words I say to you. When you breathe, I want to be the air for you. I'll be there for you. Makes sense. Why? You know, when you do your business building, you start with building first relationship. It has to be authentic relationship. Business follows when you build first relationship. And in your business right now, you have to let them feel that you are there. You have them feel that you need first to build a relationship to build your business. Seems so quiet. Are you processing? Or you just don't know the song? Later tonight, probably. Olen, pwede ba yun? Tonight, merong Bon Jovi na. Rak-rakan na, mga ganun. Simple as everyone. You have to be there with them. You have to guide them. You have to build first relationship to build their business. Am I making sense with this, everyone? Yes. Some things that will help you further. That when you go back to your respective countries, to your work, to your functions, you will find out that these are things that can help you immediately on the get-go. All right, everyone, we need to make a mark. You know, you're so important with so many people, with your clients, with your identified clients. It says here in Filipino, tuldok lang tayo. Tuldok is just about the speck. We're just a speck in this world, everyone. And living with that speck, how do you develop? How do you ensure that you'll be making a mark? And making a mark in so many ways. Making a mark for your customers, for your client, to achieve their goals. You can also make a mark with your team. Your team's personal, your goals, everyone. Your organization, you now, right now, as AICI chapters, as a global community of, image consultant, what in your ways you can contribute the value that you can provide, not just for your business, but also for the people around you, for the organization. You have to contribute, you have to be active, you have to pour in time, effort, and probably resources to bring in that organization into life as always and always and always. You have to make a mark. We're just a speck. And ascending in a way to help your families. We know for a fact it's all about provision. More than anything else, it's about how can we feed our families? How can we provide for our families? You take them and ascend with you to ensure that you're not just only the one who's successful, but also your family behind your success. If you are the person behind the success of many individuals, you can also be the person who will, on the get-go, be the start to be successful for your families also. But then again, everyone, for most people, they don't know exactly that even if they do just each and every one, we will create a space, we will mark an impact, more than the impression, we will make it more visible as an organization to help bring further the level of this vocation. As I've said, you should know exactly your purpose. You should know exactly the meaning in what you do. Am I making sense, everyone? Amen on that? Amen. All right, everyone. Before we wrap up things, let's work on with this, some of the key points. Okay, first on the list, help me guess this letter. What do you think C stands for? What do you think C stands for? Everyone, C. What? Competitive. What else? Customer. What else? Credibility. What else? Community. What else? Cash? Cash? Who needs cash? All of us, right? Care, care. What else? C stands for everyone.
Connection.
All right, let's do it. C stands for commitment. You know, it's like a union or marriage. Remember, everyone, we're telling about how do you guide your customers or client. It's like a union or marriage. I swear by the moon and the stars in the sky. And I swear, like a shadow that's by your, for better or for, till death do us. And I love you with all of my, and I, thank you, swear. It's like a union or marriage. You have to handhold. It's a journey. It's a lifelong journey. So long as you're with them, you have to be committed. You wanted to bring the business to the next level, you have to be committed also with your craft. Now, what H stands for? H. Heart. What else? H. Heart. Honesty. What else? H. Health. Any more? H is about hard work, everyone. Hard work. Sorry. There's no such thing as suffer to begin with. Why? No pain, no? No money, no? No guts, no? Here in the Philippines, no senior citizen ID, no? No discount. You know, it's really about that hard work. You have to, persevere. Really, really, really. It on the screen, all about attitude. What's A stands for? Oh, there you go. It's not about altitude, it's about attitude, everyone. It's about things that can help you behaviorally. That's where the pathway to success is clear. That's where you need to bring in that mindset going on for you, which have the end goal of what? The behavior. Behavior is about attitude. But first, you have to traverse, getting to the pathways through what? A disciplined, actionable way to do it. Without disciplining yourself, without taking action in it, that's nothing. That's nothing. It's attitude. And that letter brings us to what? M. So what M stands for, everyone? Imagine that you don't see them. What's M? Money. Earlier cash, now it's M. Money. Mindset. What else is M? Alright. There's a lot of demotivation all over. Away from typical negastars and negatrons, everyone. You have to be with Optimist Prime. There are a lot of negativities all over us. Away from them. What's a good intention? When you know exactly to get you that natural high, you should know exactly what brings it with you. What's the real purpose? What the deepest meaning? Why you do this? Is it about the money alone? Is it about the revenue alone? I don't think so. It's the mission that will help bring out the best in people. Agree? Everyone? Agree on that? Alright. The last letter. Okay, what's peace all about? This. What's peace all about? Purpose. What else? Pera. Power. Passion with an F or a P. Perseverance. What else? Sorry, what else? Persistence. What else? P. This is the last principle with an F or a P.
Patience.
Pera. You know, Filipinos really wanted to have money. Earlier, it's cash. And then M, money. And then P, pera. It's a local term for peso, everyone, for money. All right, everyone, take a look at this.
Ano yan? Paulo.
This may be a short session. And I hope that short session provided you, and you will always remember me that I've shared with you things that will forever be etched and help you along with your business. But you know, P is all about prayer. Without the divine providence, without the divine intervention, we are nowhere to be found. We cannot have this occasion with you. We will not be flourishing. We will not be thriving. Amen on that, everyone. And these are the mindset of champions. Are you champions, everyone? Everyone, I'll be there for you. 3, 2, go! I'll be there for you. Just where you I wanna be there for you. I'll be there for you. I'm living out time for you. Feel so much time for you. What you can say we're looking to. I'll be there for you. We can always thank everyone. Also, church, very good. And if you wanted me to collaborate with this week, and you help your team organization, maraming salamat. Thank you, everyone. Welcome to the Philippines, and I hope you enjoy being here. Mabuhay!
All right, mabuhay, Sir Paulo! Wow, thank you so much for that very insightful and meaningful message. I was at the back listening to Sir, and the last thing he actually said, the letter P, I highly agree. Thank you so much for that wonderful message, Sir. Now, we would like to open the floor for questions from, of course, our lovely audience. So if you guys have any questions from our keynote speaker,